Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling intense realism. It's a really core idea from the 50th law.
Yeah, absolutely foundational.
And our mission here is to really unpack what it means, but maybe more importantly, how you can actually, apply it in your life.
Right, because intense realism isn't just like a cool phrase.
Yeah.
It's this commitment, really, to seeing everything, the world, people, yourself, with total clarity, no filters.
Choosing clarity over comfort, that sounds potentially uncomfortable.
It often is.
Yeah.
That's the point, kind of. It's about stripping away all the distortions we usually live with.
So how does that work in practice, this clarity thing?
Well, think of it as a mental practice, almost like exercise. Imagine your mind is, say, a camera lens.
Okay.
For most people, that lens is, frankly, smudged up, by old hurts, or maybe it's foggy with anxiety about the future, or even colored pink by hope.
So we're not seeing things as they are.
Rarely. Intense realism is the daily work of cleaning that lens, wiping it down constantly to get a sharp, accurate picture. And it's foundational because, look, any strategy, any plan you make, it's useless if it's based on a bad read of reality.
Right, like building on sand.
Exactly. Think about a musician who thinks they're amazing, but never actually practices. Or sticking with a business partner, deep down is unreliable. You can't fix a problem if you refuse to even see it clearly.
Okay, so clarity is key. What gets in the way? What are these distortions? The sources seem to point to two big areas.
Yeah, broadly speaking.
First, the internal lens. Seems like we are our own biggest problem sometimes, like our ego filtering stuff.
Oh, massively. The ego hates information that challenges its self-image. And then there are emotions. Fear, excitement, love. They totally warp our judgment, right? Make us overestimate chances or underestimate risks.
And biases too, like confirmation bias.
Huge one. We actively look for evidence that proves what we already believe and ignore stuff that doesn't fit. It's just how our brains often work if we're not careful.
Then there's the external stuff. People aren't always straight with us, are they?
Definitely not. People wear social masks, they want to look good, or they tell you what they think you want to hear, maybe to get something, or just avoid a difficult conversation.
And the world throws illusions at us too, right? Like those get-rich-quick things.
Exactly. Promises of easy success that just, aren't based in reality.
Let's make this really concrete. The book uses Curtis Jackson 50 Cent as a prime example.
Yeah, a powerful one.
For him, growing up in Southside Queens, intense realism wasn't some, abstract idea. It was survival.
Absolutely. Misreading a person or a situation there, that could have lethal consequences. He had to learn, out of pure necessity.
So what did he learn?
He learned to ignore the talk, the words. Instead, he studied patterns. What did people do? Consistently. He learned to assess risk without letting fear or hope cloud his view. He got really good at seeing the hidden motives. It was like a street MBA in clarity.
Clarity is the ultimate survival tool. Okay, so how do we cultivate this? It's not passive, you said. It's a skill.
As an active daily skill. So let's talk practical exercises. First one, differentiate observation from interpretation. This is crucial.
Okay, observation versus interpretation.
You have to consciously separate the raw facts, like what would a video camera record, from the story you immediately tell yourself about those facts. Our brains jump to conclusions.
Ah, okay. Like that example of the boss's email, the one-word reply, fine.
Exactly. The observation is just. The email reply contained only the word fine. Simple fact.
But the interpretation can spiral, right? Oh no, she hates my proposal. She thinks I'm useless. The whole project's doomed.
Precisely. And separating those two things, the fact from the story gives you your power back. You can then respond strategically, maybe ask clarifying questions, instead of just reacting emotionally based on your possibly wrong interpretation.
That makes a lot of sense. What's next?
Exercise 2 builds on that. Analyze patterns of action, not words. Basically, words are cheap.
Actions are the gold standard.
The only gold standard for understanding character and real intentions. You have to train yourself to watch what people do over time. Do they follow through on commitments? How do they act when things get tough? How do they treat people they don't need anything from? Forget the talk, watch the walk.
And applying this to ourselves, there's exercise 3, conduct a reality audit.
Yes, ruthless honesty with yourself. Describe your own situation, say a project or a business, like you're a totally neutral outside consultant. Just the facts.
So instead of my startup's struggling because of the market stuff.
Right. You'd say, okay, objectively, we have 50 users. We made $200 last month. Growth is 2%. 3 investors passed, citing concerns about X, Y, and Z. It forces you to confront the actual situation, not your hopes or excuses about it.
Ouch. But necessary.
Very. And finally, exercise 4. Actively seek disconfirming evidence. This fights confirmation bias head-on.
The devil's advocate rule.
Exactly. Before you make a big decision, deliberately go find the 3 strongest arguments against it. Actively look for reasons why you might be wrong.
That sounds counterintuitive, but I see the point. It stress tests your idea.
Right. It either makes your conviction stronger because you've addressed the weaknesses, or, crucially, it stops you from making a potentially big mistake you were blind to.
So, pulling this all together, intense realism isn't about being negative or cynical, is it?
Not at all. It's actually the ultimate form of pragmatism. It's about effectiveness.
Yeah.
By doing these exercises, you're essentially cleaning that mental lens we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
It lets you navigate life with, honestly, less fear and much greater impact because you're dealing with what is.
You stop being pushed around by your feelings or by illusions.
Exactly. You become a strategist operating on reality. And that clarity, that's where real power comes from, not wishful thinking.
Okay, so here's something to think about as you go from here. What's one situation right now in your life where maybe applying a quick reality audit or genuinely seeking out the arguments against your current plan might reveal a crucial truth you've been overlooking?